guys! If you're new here, I'm Sandy. I make things, all sorts of stuff. I do a lot of crafts. If you're joining me again, thanks so much. I'm so happy you want to hang out with me again. Okay, so I'll jump right into knitting. If you didn't know, I am making my now existing nephew, who has been born, so I need to, my main focus has been on knitting. It's the Bare Necessities set by Bliss, which is a gorgeous layette. I'm doing a hat, a blanket, and a sweater from it. And I'm doing it in the Cashmerino. I've been working on this for like almost 6 months at this point. So I finished the blanket a while ago, but what I finished this week was, boom, ends are dealt with. Now you may be thinking, no, they're not. But I am going to put a linen backing on this, so I wasn't as stressed out because I'm going to, each of these are going to have little bear faces embroidered on it, and I'm literally going to like be stitching each around onto a linen backing. Yeah, so these ones aren't as like precise. They're just kind of existing. However, on the little sweater that only needs the side seams finished, I actually have done a lot more secure of a job because these are not getting backed. So yeah, I'm really excited. Like, I mean, this is the 12 to 18 month size, so I'm not super concerned because they're going to be going into spring, summer. So he's not going to be wearing this till next year. So I'd rather do like a really good job of it. You know, and this was not an easy set to make. This is the hardest thing. I mean, I say this every time, but like you got cables, you got baubles, you have like a mott cable, you have color work. This is like a huge project. And, yeah, like I'm really happy I've done it. I think it looks so good. It's going to be so cute on him, but it definitely is something I would prefer the amount of work I've already put into it. And I'm making it in the Bliss Cashmerino, which is merino, acrylic, and cashmere. So like I'd prefer if there was no acrylic, but also it's a baby, so it's kind of good to get that like super washness, you know? But I don't know. I want this to be really good quality. I want it something that like he can have. I mean, I still have a lot of my hand-knit baby clothes that a neighbor made, and it's just nice to have something really beautifully done and really good quality for him. If he asks why I didn't have anything, then I don't know. Hopefully he won't ask until he's like 18, 19 and I can buy him a drink to say sorry. I don't know. No, but it is. I would have loved for him to have something right when he was born because I have, he's in Canada and my other nephew's in Australia, so since I can't be there to hug them, the way I kind of say it is that I am, like, if I can't be around to hug them, at least when they're wearing something I make them, it's like I'm hugging them. So, but it's so cute. Like, honestly, I think I was getting a bit, I mean, you can see I was getting a bit frustrated, and it is true. Like, I want to be doing something that's different. When you're working on one thing for so long, it gets a bit draining, but I have put so much love into this, and now that I see it with like the sleeves not really attached, but sort of, the only seam that's sewn is this one, like from here to here. When I do, by the way, flat knitting and I'm sewing it up, I always start at the armpit and then go down just because I feel like this seam is the one that's the most important. Like you want the armpit to match, so everything else I just do. That way too, if something happens and one unravels, at least then the person I'm giving it to will only have to ask my mom to sew up a little bit of it. But yeah, so it's it's so cute. It's such a soft yarn. It's really interesting though, because I was thinking about it, like this has taken me almost 6 months at this point, and this is one of those things I showed a couple of my friends and they were like, oh my god, you should sell those, like people who don't knit. And I'm just like, okay, but then I actually said, like, the materials cost me about €100 because I'm not using like acrylic. I mean, I could make it for cheaper, but do I want to? Like I said, I want this to last. I want this to be something beautiful that is wrapped up and it's soft and this stuff is so soft. It is a nice yarn. And you know, so I've paid almost 100 quid in materials, and I put almost 6 months of work into this. Like, who would pay for a baby set for that? You know, it would only be somebody who either has like a really, really good, or I mean, who's just stupid rich and throws money at anything, or somebody who, you know, works with it and could probably make it themselves. Because if you work with the materials, I think people who do crafts have a better appreciation for not just handiwork, but also the materials that go into something. So, you know, but anyway, so it's just a really good example of like, especially when it comes to baby stuff, because I feel like when you come to adult sweaters, people like to think that they would spend that much money on themselves. Like, they really do. And I'm the same. I would like to think that I would go to a shop and spend 100 quid on a sweater for me. I wouldn't. I'll spend 100 quid on the yarn. But, you know, it's just this weird little thing. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm not going to get into my fast fashion rant. Because it's a big one. But no, it's just, you know, it's quality of things and how long you want it to last and all that nonsense that I go, oh, it's not nonsense, it's really important. In any case, I'm so excited. It finally looks like a little baby sweater. I'm hoping I can block it either tomorrow or Friday, so I just need to get those seams sewed up. And then once I block it, I can do the embroidery and then the quilting. And by then it should be the end of August, though. It'll be ready to send out. Hopefully not. Hopefully I'm faster at sewing than I am. I mean, it is hand sewing now, so. I'm not going to give myself a date. I would like it there before the end of winter. That's what we're going with. As for my temperature blanket, I'm actually behind on this guy because last week just got destroyed and manic and, you know, sit in bed and cry. But yeah, so I'm up to Sunday. The good thing about it is I can always catch up. And it's actually like, yeah, like it's getting somewhere. I'm excited. I do love this project. So this is the temperature blanket by Wool and Hook. Oh, I forgot to say, sorry about my nails. If you have like an aversion to chip nail polish, I was going to do them. I usually do them every week because it makes me feel really good. But I was cooking and I scraped against something metal like under the nail here and it cut. And my like nail polish remover is like one of those dip your finger in it and like move your fingers around. And I just don't want to dip a cut into acetone because that seems like, well, I mean, I don't think it's acetone. I think it's acetone free, but nail polish remover, like if you have a cut in your hand and you touches nail polish remover, you know about it and it's, no, so I'm not doing it. Anyway, yeah, so this is my temperature blanket. I mean, I love this pattern. It's the temperature blanket pattern. It's by Wool and Hook. I'm doing it in dropped Karisma because I wanted superwash wool, but I wanted it to be wool. So yeah, I'm like really into this. I think it's so beautiful. And yeah, it's just a basic crochet blanket. If you are looking to do a temperature blanket, I mean, a lot of people say you have to start from the beginning of the year. No, start it on your birthday. Start it on any day. Make up a holiday. If somebody is pressuring you about when you want to start your temperature blanket, just be like, oh, it's the anniversary of the day I found myself and did the work, or just something like that. And I don't know. It's my dog's birthday. Oh, I should. That'd be so cute. But, you know, just find a day. Any day can be anything. You don't need landmark days to start doing what you want to do. But yeah, so I'm to Sunday on that. Oh, I did have a few things that happened with this. First off, so the way I packed my yarn when it came was this blue color is the 10 to 12 degrees. So I packed it with kind of half of the like winter colors, you know, like the winter, fall, spring colors on either side, on like the bottom and the top, and then I put all the like summer colors in the middle. So I'm like, okay, that way when I just grab it, I don't have to, well, the 10 to 12, I'm on the last two. So, I mean, it was just a bit of a shock. So it either needs to get much colder or much warmer, preferably much colder, because I hate spring. Like I can feel spring coming and I'm just in such a foul mood about it. I'm like, ugh. Like it's just, I hate spring. I hate summer. So, you know, it's going to be interesting, but, yeah, I am sitting here now worried if I run out I've also decided though, I think I'm at the point where I'm not, I mean, I'm fussed about dye lots a little bit because it will be annoying, but I mean, does a dye lot on a project like this really matter? Especially not if all the kind of winter ones are on one side and all the spring ones are on, or if one winter's on this side and one, you know? Like if they have summer in between them, is that really like, is the dye lot for that really the hill I'm gonna die on? Also, I think with this blanket, I'm making it, I don't want to say I'm not making it to be something beautiful, because it is. Like, it is really nice. It's a good blanket. Like, it's, you know, the colors are gorgeous. It is turning into something really, really nice. But at the same time, for me, this wool blanket is, it's a bit more of a functional blanket. First off, it is, now usually I'm such a catalog person. Like, if I see something, I want it. And I make things for the final product in a way. And that isn't to say I don't enjoy the process. I do. But it's like, I've noticed everything I've made, because I'm like, okay, I'll make this because I want to learn cables, I never end up using. So I would almost rather take on a harder project so that I can learn the skill. I say while staring at the layout. No, but that was learning baubles. And I'd kind of almost rather take on something harder that I know I'm going to like, I know I'm going to love, I know that I'm going to wear, instead of just like doing a project to learn the craft, you know what I mean? Because I do find that I'm going through, and winter accessories I tend not to be so like huffed up about, because if it's cold, I don't care what anybody thinks about my hat. But at the same time, do I not? I noticed I reach for some hats more than I reach for others. So, you know, where's the, yeah. So it just comes down to that I don't want to be making things for the sake of making things anymore. I want beautiful things. Now that said, with this blanket, again, not that it's not beautiful, it is, but the temperature blanket, this is going to be also a little more functional. First off, home decor, I'm not as like, well, I'm fussed with. Don't get me wrong. I want things to look nice, but I like kind of like a blank canvas home and then adding color through decor. So I think it's really cool that it's colorful. I like, you know, I like nice things, but I think you guys get that I like nice things. But I think with this, it's definitely a thing of like, a wool blanket is for when you're cold. You know, so no matter what it looks like, it has a function. So again, I'm not going to be sitting here picking apart dye lots on something that I know is going to be the thing I love most when it's cold, you know? Yeah, and even like this yarn, it's the Drops Karisma. It's nice. I personally would not use this in a sweater because I find it just the teensiest bit scratchy. But with this blanket, I know there's never going to be a point where I'm wearing this blanket just as a thing. I'm either going to be wearing clothes and having it like across my shoulder, or it's going to be like on top of another blanket, you know? So I don't think this is going to get a lot next to skin time. If it does, it's not the worst, but like it's fine if it does. I'm literally doing that and I'm not like red or anything, you know? Like, or what's more delicate? Wrist skin, I think. Yeah, like, you know, it's not scratchy like that or anything. It's nice, but I just don't think I'd want it next to my like neck all day in a sweater, or like on my armpits all day on a sweater. Armpits are surprisingly sensitive, let me tell you. And when your armpits are uncomfortable, your entire body is uncomfortable. Another awful thing that happened to me last night. Okay. I have this far to go on this row. This far. There was a knot. And I know that 1 to 3 knots per 100 grams is industry standard, so finding one knot in a 50-gram ball, especially since it's like the first time it's happened in any of these, is perfectly fine, perfectly acceptable. But that doesn't stop it from being annoying. So, yeah. Yeah. I'm just upset at that, and so I'm probably honestly going to let that... No, I'm going to deal with it tomorrow because I hate being so behind on it, and I try not to get more than a week behind. Yeah, so that's my knitting crochet. I have acquired a few things. And I want to talk about gardening as well. I haven't like shopped, but I've bought some stuff. I bought these guys. I got them on AliExpress. I forgot I ordered them months ago. I want to find somebody who makes hoops because I want beautiful handmade ones, but also for what I can afford right now. I was looking at buying them from other craft stores, but they all seem to be made in the same place. Like there doesn't seem to be anything. So when it's something like that where it's just like, I'll honestly just order them straight from the source. I don't even remember which buyer I got these from. As far as I'm concerned, they're all kind of the same. So yeah, just because the Kariki Press ones, the ones when Sampler Club existed, I mean, man, Sampler Club and Wine Club canceled in the same week. It was just devastating. I still remember it. But yeah, they come with the little small one, so I needed something to display them for when I make them, so that's those. Yeah, like ideally I'd love to get some beautiful handmade ones where this is all gold, and I don't know, I might paint these. I don't know. They're embroidery hoops, they're standard, you know what they look like. So the second thing I got is sort of crafts, sort of gardening. I saw these things. They're like these little herb planters made from wine bottles. So the idea is you have your wine bottle and it's like cut here and turned. So I saw them and they were so fun and I was like, okay, I'm in, I want to buy them. But they were £25 each and they were coming from the UK. Now the price, okay, yeah, I think it's a little steep, but fair enough. It comes with everything you need to get started. I like that. However, the issue is coming from the UK because I'm gonna have to pay duty on that. So I started thinking about it more and I remembered my cousin went really hard on making the like wine bottle candles. So then I thought, well, wait a second. Didn't I see ages ago when like the trend was you would like soak a string in kerosene, light it on fire and then run cold water over it and it would do that? Like, could I not just make these? So I asked him how he did it, you know, and he told me he bought a thing. He said, don't do the kerosene thing. Our family doesn't have luck like that. And I agreed, yes, it would probably be very dangerous. We shouldn't be playing with kerosene. So I bought a thing. This is the same kind of thing he used. So it has a little blade here, which scores in the wine bottle. And then you do like alternating boiling and cold water, and then you just basically like sand. I'm not swearing on this thing. Sand a lot. So I decided I'm gonna give this a shot. He recommended have like a good few bottles of wine before you do it, like ready to go, because once you really want to get the hang of it, you know, so you want to do like a few of them in the same day just to really get the process. So I'm on the fun part of this project right now, which is drinking lots of wine. I'm very good at this so far. But basically, yeah, so it's going to be, I'm going to cut it probably around here. I'm going to take the labels off because I just don't want them. I'm going to cut them probably around here, and then you keep a little reservoir of water in here. Then I'm going to need some sort of wicking thing. I might just use like scrap linen or cotton. And then you put the soil in this and the plant comes out the top. I am so curious. I really, really want this to work. I mean, I'm getting a little garden obsessed lately because, you know, it is spring, and as much as I hate spring, at least it means I can sort of garden. And we're looking at it, and we moved in here in October. And when we got the house in Cork, we were only living like 30 minutes away. So we were able to come and do a lot of like the renovation work that we wanted to do. I mean, we got to paint before we moved in when there was no furniture. We didn't do the floors, but we didn't do the floors till we moved in. But, you know, we were able to do a lot of stuff that we kind of wanted to do, get it all cleaned out and kind of just like sort of the way we wanted it until, yeah, so we got to do that before we moved in. The painting was just a lot though. I mean, that house had like emerald, like dark emerald, a dark emerald staircase, and so it kind of looked like a dungeon. I love dark emerald. It's one of my favorite colors, and I think it can be so beautiful in a house. But like, even there was one room, like the entranceway was the dark emerald, and then it went into a room that was this color called like magnolia that they love here. I do not get it. I think my theory behind magnolia, and the magnolia paint's actually cheaper than white paint, My theory is it's sort of the color that white paint goes if you smoke a lot in the house. So it's just kind of like, okay, skip the middleman and just call it intentional. Which I realize is quite shady, but I really do not enjoy this color. So it had that, but it also had on one wall pink and on one wall coral. And it was very confusing, and it was all very like bright saturated except the magnolia. It took us like, the emerald took us like 3 coats of just white paint before we put our final paint on just to get rid of it. And it opened up the house a lot. Like, I love the work we did on that house. I think it's so beautiful. I am sad to see that house go. But, when we moved in here, we were living 3 hours away. So we didn't have the time. And when we got this house, it was actually really good because we, if you hear snoring, it's Baxter who's asleep. So we got this house, and pretty much once we got possession, they had a cancellation in the movers. So we were able to get them in 2 weeks. So it was just like, go, 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 go. There was no doing any of this kind of slow thing. And also, one thing I think that's really good when you move into a new place is letting it kind of sit, figuring out where you actually need stuff. Because we had all the furniture we brought, but we did need, weirdly, our 3-bedroom house needed, we needed more in our 2-bedroom apartment. I don't know, but it's been good because we're kind of sitting, we've been living in it. Like, before we bought furniture, we were in here 2 months, and we kind of saw, okay, this is where we actually need something. Because I think in Cork we went a little hard, said, oh yeah, we'd like this here, we'd like that there, we'd like that there. But then when it came down to it, I mean, everything we did was fine, but it wasn't, maybe there could have been a better solution if we had if we had existed in this house and saw kind of where we needed stuff a bit more. So we're doing that here. But one room, and we want to do this entire thing very budget because, we're not, we have a roof over our head and food on the table. We're not destitute, but we, we don't have a lot to put towards just random stuff. So the only kind of area that not random stuff, it's a renovation, but you know what I mean. That we've kind of decided we 100% know what we want. We know exactly what we want to put there is the balcony. So we're going to be doing a lot of gardening. We've been gardening, both of us, all of our lives. We are plant people. I just do not buy blackberries. I grew up with blackberry bushes everywhere. I hate buying blackberries. It kills me. Kills me. Even strawberries, tomatoes, we've always grown our own. So it is something we loved. We've always had a garden. Even our first apartment in Dublin, we had a little windowsill garden, and we have a huge windowsill here. I'm sure you can see the plants in the back. Those are just some random basil plants. So we've decided that we're going to do a windowsill herb garden because I think herbs in a windowsill are great. You have them all year round. You don't need to, buy herbs. Herbs are so expensive too, it's ridiculous. That's where I want my wine bottles, is on that wonderful windowsill. And then this is all just a very long way to say, I'm renovating my deck. And we were at the the hardware store buying stuff apparently you need special stuff to clean a deck. I don't know. I saw this. It's a little gin cocktail garden kit. So it came with all this. It came with some recipes. It came with little gin infusion bags, which is hilarious. But yeah, it even came with the soil. This was a good little kit. So it's lemon balm, basil, orange scented thyme, and spearmint. And yeah, so right now they're just germinating. I thought this was so cute. I couldn't leave it behind. And I'm going to put it on that windowsill. But oh my god, look at it. It's so cute. So yeah, so that was exciting. Nothing's germinated yet. By the way, I don't know if you can see it through the reflections, but yeah, nothing's germinated yet, but we're waiting patiently. So excited. I love it. I just think it was the cutest thing I've ever seen in my life. So yeah, so that's what's been going on. I did take a couple weeks off. One was because a couple weeks ago it was the day after Valentine's Day on Wednesday, and Adam was home. We were tired. We ended up going out, out on Valentine's Day because we hadn't been out in a while. So we decided to go out, and I was just exhausted. Adam was exhausted, and so we just decided to take the most chill day in the world. Plus, since we had left Baxter alone for a couple hours the night before, we decided we wanted to just spend a lot of time with him. Yeah, and we had some errands to do. Like, I was running around to the bulk shop to get stuff for groceries and all that, you know, life stuff. And then last week on Tuesday, I just basically found out a friend was like not being very friendly, and I was devastated about it, and I ended up pretty much crying straight into Wednesday. And it's tough when you have like a camera on you, especially I'm going to go back and edit all of this, and you know, if you see writing, that's me talking. After you've spent pretty much like 24 hours crying, you like, there's just no makeup in the world that will make you want to look at yourself. So yeah. Anyway, but at the same time, like, I don't want to be too strict on myself. And yeah, I really hadn't done anything. Like, I mean, I still had just had the parts of the sweater. My temperature blanket was behind still. Like, I don't know. It was a tough couple weeks, but I shouldn't say it was a tough couple weeks. We went to Rocky Horror Show. We went to Rocky Horror Picture Show. Both amazing. Valentine's Day was so nice. We had dinner on this restaurant that's on a barge on the canal, and it's just so good. It was delicious. A nice French restaurant, and you know, it's been all up a pretty good couple weeks, but it was tough. Anytime, you know, something happens, especially when you're not there to defend yourself, it's really, really tough. So, you know, what can you do? Onwards, upwards, and yeah, you just gotta let people tell you who they are and believe them when they do. So anyway, that is pretty much all I have for craft content. I'm also looking at the timer, and it's been a while. So yeah, if you have ever done this glass cutting, please let me know, because I am genuinely, I mean, my cousin said definitely do like a mask and goggles, because apparently glass flies everywhere. I don't know, I'm a little scared. I watched a couple people do it, and it doesn't look like as dramatic as he's making it sound, but I also feel like my family has a genetic predisposition to chaos. So, yeah, we've set a lot of napkins on fire at restaurants with candles. You know, it's, yeah, so I'm really excited for it though. I mean, I have so many herb seeds. I'm just excited, but it also means cleaning the windowsill, which I really, it's not my ideal situation. Oh, okay, I'm gonna sign off now. I'm just blathering. Thank you for hanging out with me. I'll see if I have any recordings of what I've done over the past couple weeks to put in. If you want to hang out more, you know what to do. If you don't, then thanks for getting this far, even when you don't. I don't know. We'll hopefully see you next week. Bye.